Welcome, everyone. Today, we're hosting one of our fun traders who has been requesting payouts consistently since the week he got funded with funding pips. You don't want to miss this interview because we will focus on his journey to consistency, his ups and downs, his mentality, and some of his trading setups. So, I want to welcome Agit. Hi, mate. It's so nice to see you. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Before we start the actual consistency journey, can you start by introducing yourself a little bit?
I'm Agit. Like that's my name, I'm 20 years old. I'm from Belgium. Yeah, that's it.
And how old? 21?
20, 20, 20.
Only 20 years old, and he's already a consistent trader. How did you come across trading? How did this whole journey start?
So I started during COVID in 2020. I was home for like 2 weeks at the start, but then it went longer. But I was just home doing nothing. I was playing games all day, but I got bored at some point because every day what I did was just game. Then I just came across some ad on Instagram. I was just scrolling to my friend's post. I saw something about crypto, getting rich and all that stuff. I saw some Lambos, and as a young kid, you always want to become rich. So I didn't go through the ad. I just went to YouTube and just searched up crypto and stuff. I was not really dumb to fall for ads. I was just going straight to YouTube and see what it's really like. So I did my research and all that stuff. Obviously, I was only like I can't remember how old I was. I was like probably like 16 or something, maybe even 15, I think 16. So I didn't even have much money to invest anyway. But yeah, I was just looking at investing and stuff. I was just looking at coins and whatever. And I always would tell my brothers, yo, let's buy this, let's buy that. Obviously, they're not gonna listen to a kid anyway. So I was just, for like a good year, I was literally just watching crypto and not doing anything because I had no money. So then I got a job with my mom. I was going to cleaning on the weekends, which I actually hated the job, but money is money, so I didn't say no. So I went there, I got some money, and then I started to invest into crypto. I put in my first $50. I was so happy. Like I thought I was gonna become a millionaire overnight and stuff. But like from $50, that makes no sense. But when you're a young kid, you've done your first entrepreneur thingy. Where you invest some money, whatever. So you get excited. But after that, really until like maybe 2020, mid 2020, that's when I really got into trading because I was first looking at investing. I didn't know that you could actually day trade because I was looking at Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin was too much for me to buy and sell on spot. I didn't even know futures existed. So that's when I really got into that. I got introduced by a friend actually from TikTok. It was actually very weird, but um yeah, that's when I got introduced. So that's when I started. I started with $100 just to see if I actually know what I'm doing. Obviously, I blew that $100 in like 2 days. That was actually quite fast. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wasn't really dumb. Like I had no money anyway, so I couldn't really spend another $100 on the account. So I was just like, okay, let me look more into what I'm doing wrong and stuff. So I went to analyze a little bit more, get into deep technicals. I started with retail trading, breakout patterns, support resistance, trendline breakouts, and all that stuff, which my opinion works better for crypto than forex. I'll be honest. Still to this day, I'd be trading breakout, like not anymore, but I used to trade breakout patterns on crypto anyway, on the 15-minute or 1 hour, and they're actually pretty good. But yeah, so I did that for a good time. I actually done very well on demo. Like I was just backtesting on my trading view. Like demo didn't even, I don't think even demo exists on crypto, or I have never heard of it. But yeah, there was no platform for me to trade with fake money other than trading view. Like on trading view, you could like put in fake money and then do that. Like obviously, I would be up 5 million in like 1%, but it was just to see if I was losing or winning. So that actually works. And yeah, that's when I started to see some consistency. Obviously since it was demo and I was on school, I wouldn't really care. I would just post some random trades and not really care. So that really I think helped me to not give too much about a trade because you're probably gonna take maybe 100, 200, 300 trades a year anyway. And it matters for me. It matters on the long term because the short term is kind of pointless. Like whatever you make in 1 month, it doesn't really matter if you can keep the consistency for 5 to 10 years. That's what really matters. So then I was still doing futures. I was actually doing very good until like 2020 May, 2022 May. My bad. 2022 May is when I really popped off. Kind of, I was doing very good, and crypto itself. Crypto was actually booming. I was booming as well. I was taking trades left and right. I was doing crazy stuff. I was going very good. I was flipping accounts all the time, 500 to 5K, 200 to 2K, and all that stuff. Just for fun and just to show that I know what I'm doing. Because I was still young. I was still like 18. I was not. I was 18, about to turn 19. So I didn't have that much money to my name anyway. I just like that year in May, I actually dropped out of school, so I needed to get a job. I actually got a job at my dad's restaurant, so that's kind of saved me. So I'm glad to my dad for that. But I had no money until like let's say 2023. I mean, I did have a little bit saved up, so I would deposit that, and then when I make a little bit, I would withdraw, maybe give half to my parents, and then take the half for myself, or again withdraw that and then keep flipping. So I did that for a while. It went all good until like end of 2022. End of 2022 is when crypto died for me. Like Bitcoin went to 16K. I had no setups. I was waiting for a setup maybe for a month. Then I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. Then actually, my friend Kuro will introduce me into forex. Like I never knew that existed, but he said like, yeah, you can trade the euro against dollar. You can trade this against this, and it's very very fast. It's like you said the daily volume is like 6 trillion or whatever, and like Bitcoin was like 6 billion a day. So I was like, yeah, it's supposed to move 100 times faster, right? So I was like, okay, let me look into this. I went, obviously I was doing the same charting, but along the way I was learning smart money concepts because uh, personally, I always wanted to know why a trade moved a specific way, and I feel like smart money gives me that advantage that I know why a trade goes a certain way, right? If a breakout pattern fails, I don't know why it failed, but if I'm trading SMC, there's always kind of a reason, and even if I don't see it, I always try to find out to avoid any new losses, and I always try to see why the trade went this way or where it reacted from, and that what really got me interested in SMC. That's why I started learning it. Obviously, I did try to implement it in crypto, but since I was profitable with retail, I was not really looking to change it yet. But then when I got into forex, I went full on SMC because I didn't really like retail in forex. I don't know why, but it just didn't stick with me. So I went to backtest. I backtest maybe like 1,000, 2,000 trades, like 1,500, I think, and I was just backtesting for 10 hours straight, like a maniac. I would have a movie or something on the side. I was just backtesting, backtesting, backtesting. Like I had no life, but it is what it is. Then I backtested like crazy. I had my data collected. I knew what I was doing. Obviously, at the start, I did blow some few challenges, but personally, what I always say and always will say is demo was the most useful thing I've ever seen. I will never trade demo, and I will never tell someone to trade demo in their life because I'd rather them spend a 30 like $30 on a 5K account than just trade demo, because demo you have no feelings. You will act like you're the king. You will not care. And then when you go on even a $1 live account, you will feel like you don't know anything, right? So that's why I always tell demo is useless. So I never traded. I mean, I did trade demo, but like I never focused on the demo aspect. I just started with a 5K. I mean, no, I don't think 5K existed back then. It was like a year and a half ago. I did 10K with true forex funds and my forex funds. So that was, I don't even think. I mean, 5K did exist. Actually, 5K did exist. But like that was not so popular yet. So I was doing 10Ks. I blew through 10Ks. Then after that, I started to see some consistency. I passed my first phase one. My phase one went to my phase two. You know, there was a prop firm that had minus 12%, right? So I had minus 11.5% on an account, right? So I was on phase two. I had I had nothing left. So I was like, let me risk this last 0.5% on a trade, which I did. And then somehow I got a 22R out of that. So I went all the way to passing the account. Like I went to break even or something, and then I passed the account. So that's my first time I got funded. It was 20K. Then on the live stage, I made like 3 or 4%. I was so happy. I was saying, my brother, yeah, I'm gonna get rich. Same day, I blew the account to daily drawdown. It was actually kind of crazy, but I was on top of the world. Then after that, I passed the 50K. Again, same firm. That's when I started really to see consistency. I had like many payouts on that. So that comes like across mid 2023, something like that. Then I started going for higher sizes, 100K, 200K, and all that stuff. I got some payouts on that as well until I was trading like decently until October. That's when I had a bad losing streak. I lost like all my funding. I had a very, very, very bad losing streak. And mentally, I was like actually very, very on the edge. I wanted to quit trading, right? I wanted to quit trading. I don't know why, but it just didn't feel like it. Like it was just a hustle, and I didn't really want to do it anymore. But my friend Croy really helped me to push me through, which I did. And again, I got funded 100K with spending pips, and I think it was late November. It was late November, and 100K with another firm. I was up 5% on my funding pips account. Then I blew that account, right? So then I was again not feeling like trading anymore. So I was like, what am I doing? I'm making profit. I'm blowing the account. Makes no sense. And it's a live account. And I should have just waited for the payout, which I didn't. But then since mid December, I got funded again with funding pips 200K. This time I passed two times 100K. I don't know how, but I'm just built different. So I did that, and since then I've been getting decently like 7 payouts now. So 5 payouts on one account and then two on the other, which I kind of blew, but it is what it is. And now I'm funded 700K. That's a bit about it, you know.
That's actually an incredible journey. So you started with crypto and then moved to Forex, and you had to change how you trade because the markets are too different from each other. The crypto market and the forex market are just so different, and you decided that retail does not fit you in your forex trading method, so you went with SMC. It's really, really inspiring. I really understand the chronological order, but let's put it in perspective so that our viewers can also have a summary of when did you first buy an account, the year, the date, and when did you first got funded, and when did you first received a payout from any prop firm.
Okay,
And like, so I want them to understand the timeline and how long it take.
so I got my first account probably mid 2020 October. I got my first pass in start of January, actually first week of January. And my first payout I had in March, I think mid March. So I had no payout for 2 months, which I don't know how, but somehow I didn't blow the account. I was very consistent somehow. So I had no rush. I didn't take any really trades on the account. I was just making point 0.5, losing point 0.5, making point 0.5, losing point 0.5. So I was going up and down all the way. But I was at the start of 2023, I was really busy. Like I was really busy with work and stuff, so I couldn't really put in that much time in actually looking for trades. Trade London or whatever. So I was like just calmly 15-minute setup, just calmly trading that. And then in March, I was like, it's like it's been 2 months. So I had no payout. What am I doing? So actually, I started to wake up for London because I wouldn't wake up. I would just wake up later. So I started to wake up for London, come on my desk every day, and that's really when it paid off. Kind of, that's when the payouts started coming.
Wow, actually, it's so weird that after you got funded, it took you 2 months to receive a single payout because it may seem like a lot of time between those times, but honestly, it's how you did not blow the account and how consistently managed your risk. So I think it's really important to look at this in that perspective. What do you think was the most difficult thing to overcome in trading for you, and how did you overcome it?
I think the most hard thing to actually have in trading was potentially being wrong, right? I hate being wrong. Like I'm just like my head never wants to be wrong. I'm always right, right? That's in every aspect of life. I am always right. I do never wrong. But obviously the market will humble you, obviously. So I needed to start accepting losses, right? So I was moving my stops like a lot because I didn't want to lose. Just I didn't want to lose, right? I would just move my stop a lot, but then I had to learn that even if you move your stop after your trades get invalidated, there's no point because it's gonna keep dumping like to your analysis. Obviously, stop hunts, whatever happened, but per your analysis, it should continue to dump or pump, whatever. So I really had a hard time doing that. Like that's probably what kept me away from being profitable. Like I've discussed this with my friend a lot, and I was just moving my stop loss too much. Like I would make 2 to 3% a day, or maybe just one day, and then I would take another trade, risk 1%, and instead of just taking 1% loss and just being profitable for a day, I would just keep moving my stop loss, maybe even to the daily drawdown. Like I don't know, I would never take a loss because you would feel on top of the world. And how I really avoided that was I was like, there's one thing that keeps me away from being profitable, or I thought so, which actually was a reason, but that's just moving my stop loss. So I just told myself I'm gonna keep my stop loss for like a week on the same place. So what I did was I would enter a trade and I would delete my MT4, MT5, whatever. Right? I would just set my stop loss TP, delete it. When price comes close to TP, I'll just re-download it and then manage it itself, right? Or when it goes into profit, whatever. But as long as it's on a loss, I don't want to touch it, right? And I took a few losses, obviously, which I mean I should take, because my stop loss is there. So that's when I really started to see, okay, see my losses are getting smaller, and my wins are actually going bigger, right? I mean they're the same, but like they're adding up more because I'm losing less. Like you're still losing the same amount of trades, but not the same amount of percentage because you're managing risk. And that's when I really started to see more and more profitability.
Wow, it's really amazing that you realized that you weren't following your plan just by checking how you moved your stop loss. I think it's really important to self reflect on what we're doing wrong in trading because they're the ones that keep us away from being consistent or profitable. Maybe a lot of traders are feeling right now really far away from their first payout, but all they need to do maybe just take a look at themselves like you did in the past and see what they do wrong and what they insist on doing wrong and maybe change that little factor and then maybe reach some payouts or profitability. You have been receiving payouts for the past 7 weeks with us, which is accumulated to $23,000 a payout. You received your first payout with us on the 2nd of January. And from then, it's been nonstop. Can you tell us how life has changed since your first payout? And let's show your payouts on the screen because I think they are incredible. 7 payouts in 7 weeks in a row. It's really, really amazing. And that's your latest payout, $23,000. How did life change since then?
I mean, honestly, like life didn't change crazily. Like, obviously, you make more money, obviously, but like life in terms of how I am, how I feel, obviously, you feel like actually crazy. Like, you make money. Like, I kind of made like a yearly salary of my own parents in just a month by just sitting on my desk, doing a little bit takes, buying, selling, whatever. So it doesn't feel real. Like I still can't comprehend that it's actual real. Like it doesn't feel real. It doesn't seem real, but it's actually real. Like it seems fake. It's like a movie. Like I'm living the movie myself. It's like you're playing GTA. You go rob a bank. That's like how the money comes. It's like a
That's
crazy
the
feeling.
kind of talk that every other person wants to become a trader. That's the kind of talk that's what got me into trading, and I'm sure that's what got a lot of people into trading because yeah, we make a month's worth of salary just by sitting on our desks, and people think that it's so easy, but you know that it's not easy, right?
Yeah, it's actually very hard. I mean, obviously it gets easy once you're profitable, but before you get profitable, it's very very hard. It's like very hard and hard. I keep telling people like it's the hardest thing ever. Like it's probably one of the hardest skills, but yes, the best skill ever to have, because like you can trade anywhere, you can trade anytime, you can trade even if you have no legs or no hands. I mean that doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Like you can trade, anyone can trade. Like literally anyone can trade. Like it's open for everybody. So if you just put in the time, it's simply just putting in the time, right? It's very very simple. If you want to become like Cristiano Ronaldo, the goat, you have to put in the time like the goat, right? You gotta You gotta go every time. You gotta go to football. Like, it's for example, Ronaldo goes to training before his teammates, and he stops training after his teammates. That's the same with training. You gotta backtest more than your friends. You gotta put in time more than your friends, or even your own. Like, let's say you look up to someone, and that person spends maybe this amount of times. You want to do maybe twice as much as that person, right? Because you obviously want to be the same as them. And to come to their level, you gotta outwork him. It's very simple. You always want to outwork everyone. You want to be the best in everyone. You want to be the best. You always want to be the best because you are the best. If you put in the time, that's very simple.
And how did you put in the time between work and backtesting?
So my work day is like I leave my home at like 12 or 1 p.m. So I wake up usually like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., right? So I have like 2 hours to chill or trade or whatever. Then I go to work. I come home 12 a.m. again, so 12 hours. Then from 12 a.m. to any time I want, I just put in the time, right? I either back test, watch videos, journal, look at my daily, look at my data, do all that stuff, and that's all what I did. Like, I probably had the least amount of free time to myself, yet I put in every single minute. Like, I came home, I had no time to waste. Like, I wouldn't care. I would just go, you know, I would come home, change my clothes, or take a shower. I would take a shower for 10 minutes. I don't care. I would put an alarm to myself to be as fast as possible. Like, I would jump in the shower, I would jump out, I would run upstairs, I would eat at my desk or even drink, whatever. I would do everything simultaneously with my desk. If I had something to do, if I wanted to call with my friends, I would just call them and backtest together. Like, every minute mattered for me. Like, I was like, I wanted it so bad that like my mom would be saying like, "What are you doing? Like, calm down. What are you doing? Like, you always go upstairs. What are you doing upstairs?" I'm like, "Mom, leave me alone." I would just play. I'm playing games. Leave me alone. They would think I'll be playing games for my whole life, but turns out I was not. But so I was just like, I was not wasting any time because I wanted it so bad. Like, it's like I always thought about it like my life depended on it, which actually it does. If you think about it, like, if your trading becomes successful, your whole life will change, right? So you could not work, you could have you I mean you could have everything in in the world, and you could have so much free time to spend with your family and stuff. So I wanted it so bad that somehow it has to get done. I don't care what has to be done. I'll do whatever it takes, and that's exactly what I did. Like, I was not lazy of doing anything. Like, I'm a lazy person myself, but like when it comes to trading, I'll do whatever it takes.
From what you say, I have two other questions for you. First one being, you said that you were backtesting with your friends. How are they doing now? Have they become successful like you did?
Well, I have one friend which he got me into forex kind of. He's still not profitable, I would say, but that's like kind of his own fault. But I'm not gonna blame him. Sometimes they take people a year or two, sometimes they 3 years. But other than that, the thing was, I had a friend who used to backtest with me, but then he didn't take forex serious for like a year or two, and now since he see my payouts, he felt like he should take it serious. So now suddenly he came back. So I guess that, but I didn't have a lot of friends. I only like two friends. But obviously on Discord, like, I had a community. I would just backtest with my community and those people, and there are a few people that actually turned profitable, got a few payouts. So yeah, that was good.
That's amazing. And you said that your parents thought that you were playing games in your room. How did they feel when you first received a payout? What did you tell them?
So, like, I remember the day correctly. It was actually my brother had a wedding, right? And they needed money somehow. And that was actually the week after I blew that 5K profit. So my mom knew I was getting 5K, and I was like, yeah, I blew it. My mom was like, damn, we needed that money and stuff. So then I woke up one day after I made like 8.3K that night on my Funny Pips account. I woke up, I was like, yeah, mom, I just made 8K. And my mom was like, what? My mom was like in shock, and she's like, what? How did you do it? This and that. It's like, mom, I just made 8K. That's all you gotta know. So is it real? Like, I swear, for every day for the following 3 weeks, she asked me, did the money come? Is it real? Did the money come? Is it real? Like, I was like, mom, chillax, it's gonna come, relax. You just need to wait a week. She's like, did the money come? Yeah, is it real? She didn't believe it. Like, she did not. She did not believe that the money was real.
She
I'm
is so
serious.
sweet.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
like
god.
every day she would ask me, "Did the money come? Is it real? Did the money come? Is it real?" I'm like, "Mom, calm down. It's gonna come. Patience. Like a trader, you have to have patience." My mom was like, "This is not real. I don't believe you." And then when it came, my mom was like, "Damn, son." She was happy, but like she didn't know how to say it because like it's a whole new thing for them. Like they don't they, like my mom used to troll me and say like, "What is that crypto thing? It's all lies and stuff." And suddenly she was like, "Okay, keep doing it." I was like, "Yeah, mom, you see, it's actually real. It's not a troll."
Oh my god, it's so amazing. It's such a wholesome story, but I understand her actually. Not believing that the money is real, that it's coming, because if you think about it, put yourself in her shoes. Imagine your son telling you he's been playing games all this time, and then he's saying, I got a like 8K coming. And then she's like, what? That's a lie. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand her reaction to this, because I think it's really normal. I have a question for you, because I think it's what makes us really quite unique in trading. What's the difference between Agit before becoming consistently successful trader and the Agit that is standing before me now? What has changed? The mentality, the outlook towards life. What has changed?
So the mentality, as in when I would say like a year ago, I would maybe like always aim for a certain amount of percentage on payouts. I don't know why, but I just felt like that. But currently, what I think is the most important thing on trading is scaling your capital and let the capital do the work, right? If you have 1 million in funding and you make 1%, or you have 100K in funding and you make 10%, it's the same, but it's not the same skill. Right? Making 1%, like that should be normal. That should be pretty doable in a month or even a week. But making 10%, that's gonna take a little bit more. I wouldn't say skill, right? Because even if you have the skill, it's still hard to make because you're gonna push yourself to make 10%. So I would just focus on capital. That's why I don't care what my payout is, even if it's a 1% or 10%. I just focus on growing my capital, having consistency, because if I know that I can make every month, every week 2% on 100K, I will do the same on 1 million. Doesn't change a dime. Only thing that changes, my money's, it's gonna go up. So, and just I think over the years I really matured an aspect of wanting to build a future for myself and my future family. Obviously, like everything I do now, like actually I don't do anything besides trading. Now, obviously, you have some side hustles, but like trading is my thing. I have to do this trading. Like, I want to build a future for myself. Like, I don't want to work. I want to be rich. I want my kids to have everything they want. That my wife doesn't work. And all that stuff. So I will do whatever it takes. And you just gotta plan ahead and think about the future, because what happens within 1 year does not change what will happen in 10 years, right? Because let's say you're not profitable this year, who knows? You're maybe profitable the next year, and then like it goes so fast. Like you will make 1K this month, and you could make 20K the next month. Like it goes very very fast, and all that patience will obviously pay off at the end. So you just have to be patient and just focus on the long term. One trade a day does not really tell you what it is. Like one trade or 5 trades or 10 trades. You should look at 100 trades, 200 trades, 300 trades. And that's what matters, because if you're profitable over 100 trades, your next 10 trades don't matter as long as you manage risk, right? If you don't manage risk, then you will blow the account. Then it doesn't matter, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Actually, I kind of agree with everything you just said. Preparing a future for your future family. And honestly, it's maybe putting in 5 years of work is better than working a 9 to 5 job for 50 years. So I definitely understand this hustle culture. Actually, a lot of youngsters these days want to get into trading or maybe e-commerce or anything that can make them money while sitting behind a computer, because the time is changing. It's not as the same before. You don't need to work a 9 to 5. You just need to have the proper skills, and maybe the money is just awaiting you. I definitely understand this culture, and I think that mentality is just so important. What's changed, and who was Agit before and who is Agit now? What's the differences? These are really important because it shows us the journey of a trader that wasn't successful before, that wasn't maybe successful a little bit, but not consistent enough, and now is consistent. So this changed, and the aspects of what changed are just so important. If you're okay with it, let's take a look at some of your trades to see how you approach the market. It could teach a lot to our viewers, I think. Let's share your screen if that's possible.
Okay, so I will just explain, I think, simply how I take a look at the markets. So I would simply go on the 15-minute and look at structure, right? Are we bullish, are we bearish? Like, I don't use daily bias or whatever, but I just want to look where the next potential, like where the next target is going to be for me, right? And I was looking at this area of supply, right? And why this area of supply? Because we had tapped into the supply, and this supply gave us a big break of structure to the downside and the retrace after the FOMC, NFP, my bad. So I was looking for price to come back into this area. Now, what you can see is if you go to the 5-minute, you can see that, okay, we broke structure to the upside. Like, we came back in here. This was a 50-minute area of demand. You can see right here. We took that low. We induced that low. We took this demand right here. So we went a little bit lower, which was good. Obviously, I was not trading back then. So after this happened, we saw price stepping up, gold nicely. So I knew that, okay, we're gonna see some kind of retrace. Gold has like been dropping a little bit, so we are gonna see a retrace. That's what I was thinking. So I would simply be looking for break of structures. For example, this was another break of structure. We had the retest. I simply missed my entry. Like, I could have caught an entry here as well. This was during Asia. So I wasn't allowed awake, so I couldn't take the entry. Then after that, price came into my area of demand, right? Once price comes into my demand, I simply look for my entry model, which I always do, which is simply the chalk flip, as I call it, which is you wanna see the sweep of the lows, which is right here. It's like very small, which simply identifies that, okay, on this first bounce, right? This was like a what? About a 10 pip bounce on gold. We could see potential people enter on this trade. Then you take those people stops, right? You come up, you actually take this low as well, which gave me extra confidence because after this low, we had also liquidity sweep traders enter the trade, and we had supply demand enter the trade. Then we broke above that same high, took my entry right as we come up here. Simple, have my price, have my stop below this low, and target this area of supply. Now I did close a little bit earlier because I was happy that at the 1 to 10, I didn't want to potentially jinx my win, because if you look, we had like that retrace and we took that high. So I was like, after we took that high, actually no, my bad, actually to TP a little bit later because we tagged into this supply. My TP was 2038.5, which later got hit. But after I saw this and the retracement, I was like, okay, let me just close. So I closed out on this wick here, which was a good close. I mean, we did go up like only 10 pips, which is not that big of a deal for me because this trade gave me a 10R. Who is not happy with a 10R? I really don't want to complain about a 10R. So that was a very nice trade.
That looks actually very clean, but I have a question regarding this particular setup. By referencing some points that traders really struggle. You see, when you enter your trade, it goes your way a little bit and then retraces back and then goes your way again and then retraces back, which is normal in the market. But a lot of traders, I think, wrongfully expect the price to hit their TP without even retracing, or when it retraces they just close and then their plan actually work but they end up getting nothing sometimes. It's the mental part of this game actually. So how do you deal with this during the trade? How do you deal with those retracements? How do you deal with retests? How are you so sure that the price will move to your TP?
Well, obviously, no one likes retraces. No one likes their profit go into less profit. So what I always see is, why does price retrace? And does it make sense? For example, here we had a simple another breakout structure. Price came to retest. That's a very normal retest. Another breakout structure right here. Price came to retest. Makes a lot of sense, right? Yet again, another breakout structure right here. Price came to retest. Makes a lot of sense, right? Only makes sense. Price broke structure. I mean, it did kind of not retest, but it is what it is. Price came to retest, so it always makes sense. It comes to retest. Simple as that. Even here, you break this high, for example, like you break these highs, you come to retest. Yeah, I mean, this is like a big ass demand, but it always comes to retest, and this just showed, like, even here, you could just trail your stop loss to the last low after the retest. Now, obviously, I don't do that because I trust my entry, I trust my position. So price could always induce any demands to go a little bit lower and then go higher. So I trust that my entry is at the most extreme zone. So I always try to enter at the best. Like I always try to enter at the best places, like kind of catching bottoms, which here I did. But you could always enter, like for example, if you did enter here, you also got a nice trade. Like it doesn't change. This is like probably still a 10R. That like your stop loss depends what your R is gonna be. Does not depend. Even if you enter here, this could still be a 10R. It really depends on your entry. Like if you're that scared of a trade, just close your trading view, whatever. I don't know. Like you should not be scared of a trade. Why would you be scared of a trade? Like if you have like the thing is why I not scared of my trades. I know I collected data over so many trades that I know over a certain amount of trades I will be profitable. So I don't care what happens in the next 10 trades, I will be profitable. So why would I be scared if I'm gonna make money after 10 trades, 20 trades, 30 trades, you're scared of a few candles. That doesn't make sense. Like think about it. Like look at yourself and be like, I'm scared of candles. Like what is that? This is not a scary movie, that doesn't make sense. It's just candles. Obviously money depends on it, but like it's just a few candles. It doesn't change.
And that's the power of backtesting, actually. Collecting data really allows you to ease your psychology a little bit. And then you know that with the statistics of your backtest, even if your backtest statistics are half as good as during the real market, you will still be successful. So you just gotta trust it. But maybe, like you said, the reason why traders do not feel confident about their trades during the trade is just because maybe they don't have enough data. They don't have enough data to trust in their strategy and statistics. So it definitely makes sense, actually. Thank you for pointing that out for us. Do you have any other trades or aspects that you would show us from your trading view?
I would just say I trade very simple, and trading should be simple. Like every trade I take, it's always the same. Every single trade I take is the same. Every day it's the same setup. Like I will trade the same setup over again because if something works, there's no point changing, right? So you should be very like trading is very simple, or it should be very simple, and you should keep it simple. You should not try to trade 3 million things. Like do like you're not gonna make your head confused for no reason, right? You want to take it simple. You have a breakout structure, price retest by demand, entry confirmation, enter. Stop loss TP doesn't matter. Simple, right? And at the end of 10 trades, I win. That's very simple. It's very easy. Like it doesn't get any harder. Like if you would drive a car, it would be harder than this. And people think that trading is hard. It is hard. But if you make it even harder for yourself, then it's gonna be harder, obviously. Like the easier you make trading for yourself, the easier it's gonna be. And how do you make it easier? You find a simple, like you find a strategy, you stick to the strategy, you backtest, you collect data, you forward test, you the most important thing is collecting data on your live trades, right? Backtest, obviously anyone can be the best trader on backtest, no one cares. It's about live trades. So what you do is you go to live trades, you collect data on your live trades, you see why you took certain stops, and you try to avoid it. And that's how your the win rate increases because your losses will decrease, so your wins will increase, obviously. So that's how you should collect data on live trades, because obviously on backtest anyone can collect data, but the difference between backtest and a live test is already 10% of a difference because of spread, commission, and the entry fill, right? You will get slipped on entry usually. You'll get slipped on your, I mean, not slipped, but like you will get spread on your entry, spread on your stop, spread on your TP, and commission. So that probably takes away 10% of your win rate, or maybe a few R on 10 trades, maybe 1 R or 2 R. So that's why you should always collect data on live trades instead of, like, you should not only do backtests and whatever. You should always also focus on live trades and forward testing. Like on this, if I say, okay, I won, why did I win? Why did I lose? You always want to have a reason. Like you don't just get lucky. That doesn't make sense. You don't just get lucky, or you don't wake up and casually hit TP and then act like nothing happened. You always have a reason for stuff, and you should always find out the reason so you can replicate that same thing over and over again. That's how
That's
you get
actually
consistent.
great advice. Great advice for other traders out there who are starting new or who have been trading for a while now and haven't been successful yet. These are great advices, and thank you for sharing them. So we're having this interview right now, but probably the price action, what we see on the screen, will move past far along once this interview is published. So when it's published, I want to see and show people how you approach the market and how you predetermine where you are going to take your trades. For example, just by looking at this particular chart, where do you want to just get along to the 1 minute chart and just look at the screen and decide your entry? Where do you think the price will go? And actually, the question should be, where would you take a trade after this point?
I'll probably wait for price to tap into here or take this high, take all this liquidity out, because like what is it chopping is. Or we could potentially see that price comes to retest any of these areas of demand. It could be any of these, but I would potentially see this area of demand get retest, right? So what the hell? That goes my demand zone. But I would potentially see price come retest here, take out this low. I mean, did take that, but like this low, and then potentially that. Or we could potentially move up first towards this area of supply, and then I would just either long from here to the supply or short from the supply to the demand. It's very simple. Like I short where I want to, like I short towards where I want to buy, and I buy towards where I want to sell. That's what I do.
That's actually a pretty good advice. Shorting through where you want to buy and selling through where you want to. Right, it's actually great. I really like that outlook on trading. Thank you for sharing that. And moving on to your mentality, I think it's safe to say that for a 20-year-old person, for a 20-year trader, you have accomplished a lot in your trading journey because over 7 weeks, you accumulated $23,000 of payout just from funding pips. This is actually incredible. So I want to ask you last question because I think it's important. Throughout this interview, you provided a lot of advices for traders, but I'll ask anyway. As a successful trader, do you have any advice for other traders out there who are starting new or just in the middle of their journey and haven't been successful yet?
Okay, so what I would say is find one strategy, right? Find whatever you like. You're supposed to like your strategy. You're supposed to have passion on trading, so you're supposed to like everything you do, which includes your strategy. Let's say you like trading breakout patterns, go trade breakout patterns. Don't let anyone tell you whatever to trade. You trade whatever you want to trade, right? Because you will, like, any strategy will make you profitable if you like it and put in the work. You could be trading coin flip and collect data on coin flip, and you will still win somehow. Probably will work, but So get a strategy, backtest your strategy, put in the work, right? You don't wake up one day and become profitable. That doesn't exist. Like, you don't spawn with potions and stuff. That doesn't work. So you're simply gonna put in the time. You should not cap a time on yourself. Like, you want to get profitable within a year or something, you should not do that. Like, personally, I didn't care when I was profitable. I just wanted to become profitable, and I had no rush. So to get no rush, get a job. if you don't have a job, get a job is very simple. You have to get a job. Like you have to somehow get money in. Like if only money goes out, then you will be broke. And when you're broke, you do stupid decisions. So get a job, even if it's working at McDonald's, no one cares. You know, a job is a job. You should not be ashamed of flipping burgers. If I had to flip burgers again, I'd do it again. I really don't care. As long as I make money, you're making money. Like you're doing more than people at your age who are probably sitting home and gaming. Like you want to be a millionaire, but you don't put in the work, you're just lazy, then yeah, no one is gonna make you a millionaire. You gotta be a millionaire yourself, and if you don't work, then you will never be one. So you should not be ashamed of anything. You should always put in the work, do whatever you're supposed to do. Now wake up one day, oh, I don't want to do it. Yeah, no one cares. If you want to be a millionaire, then you just have to do whatever you have to do. And if you don't do it, then don't expect to be a millionaire or whatever. Like you can't expect to turn profitable when you don't put in the work, right? You're not gonna somehow your brain is not somehow gonna see the charts different. You only see the charts different when you look so much at the charts, right? Because you will see that the chart is doing the same thing over and over again. But that only comes when you back test and when you collect data over so many trades. So take a strategy, back test, forward test, buy a challenge, see what happens on the challenge. When you blow the account, don't really buy another account. See why you blew the account. Like if you're gonna do the same mistake over and over again, it makes no sense. Like then you might as well just gamble, go to casino, maybe win more because it's actually a 50-50 chance. You actually have more chance of winning. But go to back test, look at yourself. Why did you blow? Did you blow over risking? Did you blow in a losing streak? If you blow in a losing streak, then you go back test. If you blow over risking, then you manage your risk. It's very simple. You always want to have a reason why you do something wrong, because if you don't acknowledge the reason why you did something wrong, you will do the same mistake ever. Oh, like whenever you do something bad and your dad tells you don't do this because this, you don't do it because your dad knows why, right? And in trading, you just don't have a dad. You just have to find out yourself, right? I mean, your dad could be like a mentor, but it's better to just find out yourself because anyone can tell you anything, but like your brain will only listen to yourself anyway. So if I tell you manage your risk, but you don't manage risk, I could tell you 5 million things and you could only listen to one. So you always want to listen to yourself and you should put in your head that it's very simple to become profitable, yet it's very hard, right? If you do the right things for a right amount of time, you will become consistently profitable. But if you do the wrong things for the same time, you will not become profitable. So time is not the worry. Doing the right things consistently is the worry, right? If you put in the work every day, that someone who puts in the work one time a week, you will get profitable way faster because you put in the more work, right? So it's very simple. Make money before trading, right? Either it's a job or if you're an editor or whatever, just make money outside of trading. Trading should be a side hustle, right? You make 500 extra a month, you should be happy because that's how it starts. You make 100, you make 200, you make 500, you make 1K, and then you scale. And then one day you see I make 10K, and then, okay, trading becomes full time. Like, just because you had a 2K payout, trading cannot become full time because you put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Don't do nothing stupid without a reason, right? Like, you should not make trading hard for yourself, but easy. And how do you make it easy? By doing the right things, right? No pressure, just chill. Backtest, know how to trade, know what your risk reward is, average, know your average win rate, know your average losing streak. If you know you can lose 10 in a row and you lost 8 trades, you should not worry. Like you can lose that, because your data shows it. It's like there's mathematics behind your strategy. Like I don't like math, but if I know the math is behind my strategy, I know my strategy is busting. So that's what should always focus on. And I think that's pretty much it. Should just easy.
That's actually great advice, because I think it shows a lot of experience from your side, and it's really precious to gain all that knowledge from someone who's been there, someone who hasn't been successful ones or consistent ones and now is. So thank you for all of your advices. I'm sure our viewers will enjoy a lot from them, and I hope they can learn a lot from them to improve their journey as well. Thank you, Agit, for sharing your story with us today. It's been a pleasure having you with us here. I'm so happy to meet you, and I wish you luck on your trading journey. And I know that you will continue to be successful usual. And I see you at the hot seat and maybe have
That's the
another
goal.
interview
Yeah.
in the future. Thanks everyone for watching this interview. I'll see you guys on our next one.